Hi, all. My name's Akhil from our mortgage broker. I hope you're all doing very well. Today I'm joined by Naveen Palram from the Sethi Partnership Solicitors. Hi, Naveen. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Akhil. Good to join you.
Thanks. And Naveen, tell us a bit more about yourself as a conveyancer and the key services that Sethi Partnership offer.
My name's Naveen Palram. I've been a conveyancer now for over 10 years. Me personally, I specialize in residential and commercial property law. So that would be from your first time buyer buying a property to remortgages, as well as lease extensions and commercial property. So if you're taking a commercial shop, commercial lease, or if you're a landlord, I can assist you in that sense. So those are the sort of services I offer. And as a firm, the Sethi Partnership also offers a full, range of services like wills, probate, divorce, family, employment, and litigation.
Perfect. Thank you. So it's a great solicitor firm. I believe Sethi Partnership have been around since 1994. So
Yes,
longevity firm with lots of experience.
that's right. Yeah. So, I
Thank
mean,
you,
all of
guys.
us are very, experienced in our areas, and because we offer, a good range of services, we can offer clients, everything that they, would look to come for when they're doing their conveyancing. So they can also get their will done, and also if there's any sort of like prenuptial agreements that they want to carry out or anything like that, we can have that done. And if there's any landlord and tenant issues, obviously we can help with that as well. So yeah.
Perfect. Um, we're going through COVID at the moment, some unprecedented times. Tell us the type of transactions that you're currently working on and how you're supporting your clients during these times.
We have had to make a few changes, but leading up to the lockdown, we were trying to get transactions through as quickly as possible. So once the country did go into lockdown, we did have to make a couple of changes. So, I mean, if you're buying a vacant property, that was largely unaffected. Remortgages, again, if you managed to get your survey and you got your offer, again, unaffected. But where you were in a chain, that got a little bit tricky, simply because if you're in a chain, if you're in a small chain, um, it is manageable. But if you're in a large chain, that's where it gets a bit tricky. So what we have to do is go on basically a case by case basis and see how the whole chain can agree on a way forward. So some of the types of help we can give clients is like, so for example, we can agree a completion in 3 months or 2 months, with completion by mutual agreement earlier. And so by then we'd hope that the lockdown was over and things can progress in the property market. So that's one potential solution. Another one is potentially doing a simultaneous, so exchanging and completing on the same day. So basically, where you have a chain, you try and exchange as early as possible in the morning and then try to get the money through. Why we do this is because, if anyone was affected by the coronavirus in the transaction, they wouldn't be able to move, right? And if they're contractually bound to move, they'd be in breach of contract. Now, I mean, breach of contract is one thing, but if you've got a chain that is moving, you're not really worried about the breach of contract. You're more worried about, okay, how is everyone going to get on with their lives and make this move if someone has got to be in quarantine for 7 days or 2 weeks. So again, that's where the issue lies basically. And then the last sort of method would be to try and agree some special conditions relating to corona, to, if someone was affected by the virus, and whether the transaction can be delayed until that was resolved. But that's a little bit of a grey area that needs to be agreed across the whole chain. So so those are the methods we're having to make to tweak the transactions.
That's good, and it's good that you got a multidisciplinary firm and you're able to be flexible. And I think the key thing is that you're speaking to the right people. So you haven't broken the chain in terms of communication. So I guess you're speaking to clients on a daily basis, updating them, updating the lenders, the solicitor on the other side as well. So I guess you're working together and ultimately trying to make the transaction as seamless as possible and close as soon as possible. Could you tell me a bit more around indemnity insurance? Are lenders being a bit more flexible around indemnity searches and taking up insurance policies?
So a lot of lenders have updated their conditions. So the CML handbook sets out clearly where lenders are willing to take a view on certain searches, and they would either allow search. So some lenders for remortgages, they now will accept no search indemnity, and there are other lenders willing to accept a search delay indemnity where the local council can't offer you the local authority search.
That's good. So for those that didn't know what that means, is it basically rather than Naveen and his colleagues going out and applying for searches with the local councils, some lenders are accepting indemnity insurance policies in replacement. Correct, Naveen?
Yeah, that's right. So the indemnity would cover you in the event that there was an adverse entry, and to resolve that for you.
Perfect. Now, a lot of the transactions that I've got with Sethi at the moment and other solicitor firms as well is a lot of the mortgage offers are coming up to expiry. So I'm speaking to other lenders and the likes of yourself to see how we can extend these mortgage offers out. So if anybody has got a mortgage offer out there, it's currently going through conveyancing, and you're coming up to the end of the mortgage offer term, usually 3 to 6 months that they give a lifespan of, do contact your mortgage broker, because there are lenders out there that are being flexible and extending those out. Some lenders are charging a fee to extend the mortgage offer out, and some are not. So if you are coming up to the mortgage offer expiry, I'll definitely just double check your paperwork, speak to your conveyancer, and ensure that you're not going to go over the expiry date, and speak to the lender. So I think now's the time that you just need to just be conscious of lockdown, whether it's going to be extended going into May now as well. So I would just double check around the mortgage offer expiry, right, Naveen?
That's right, yeah, just to make sure exactly when, just make sure, and the other thing is, coming up to expiry, just make sure that enough notice is given to draw down the funds, because, again, lenders are struggling sometimes to release funds. So as early as you can get the funds request, which obviously is, you can't do in every circumstance, but if possible, try and get that done. And just check exactly when the last date for drawing down the funds is. So whilst the expiry might be on a certain day, your solicitor or conveyancer may need to draw down the funds slightly earlier in order for the bank to process the drawdown of the funds.
Perfect. Give us a couple of things that clients, property investors, landlords should be doing and how they should be planning for the future.
So, a lot of people have more free time now, and even, both of us are working from home. So whilst for us, the instructions have reduced, we are still getting, a lot of inquiries and people asking for advice, and that is the right thing to do. So if you're looking to buy, and even if you're a first-time buyer, if you're a seasoned, a property investor, there's always more advice and help that professionals can give you, and that is key, really. Use this time to speak to all the professionals, accountants, solicitors, conveyancers, mortgage brokers, surveyors, because they're all there to give you their services. And if you have all the right information and you're equipped with all the right information, when you are ready to go, you've got everything. So That's first, that's one thing that you need to be speaking to everyone. And secondly, if you have decided to buy or sell, again, instructing your solicitors, conveyancers early is very key, because if you've got all the paperwork ready to go, then if you've got a motivational buyer, a motivated buyer, then both, as soon as the lockdown goes, you're both ready to go, and the transaction can get done quickly. And with us, obviously, there's a lot of paperwork. You've got to do your identity checks and whatnot. So it's good to get that out of the way. So so that is what I'd say. Speak to everyone, get your instructions in early. So I'm assuming that it's the same for you. If someone wants a mortgage, they need to compile a bunch of documents, right? And now is a good time for them to get all that document ready to give you while they're at home, and they've got a bit of extra time. So it's the same for us, really. There's a lot of paperwork, and even, identity checks, we can do them online, but it just means you need to get everything in order, and it's good to get everything in order for you ready to go. And the last thing I'd say is transactions that don't need you to physically, move. Now is probably a good time to look at that. So, speak to your accountant, speak to your tax advisor to see whether you're getting the best benefits from your investments that you already have. So if you have properties, see if you benefit from a transfer of equity, which would change the shares of ownership, or maybe a declaration of trust to change your shares to be more tax efficient. So those those transactions don't need you to go anywhere physically, and that's a really good opportunity for you to do that now. And other transactions, if you own a leasehold property and the lease is coming up to less than 100 years, then maybe look to extend your lease, because if the property market is going to be affected and the values of the property are going down, then it's a good time to extend your lease, because the premium you pay for a lease extension will be less than where the property market is booming. And obviously remortgages, again, if you can try and get a mortgage, then that will be unaffected and we can proceed with that.
Perfect. Thank you for that. What I would say is the whole conveyancing piece is quite technical. There are ways, as Naveen has quite rightly said, around transfer equity, deeds of trust, and forming those. If anybody's got any questions around lease extensions, transfer equity, and so on, and SDLT particularly as well, contact Naveen and his team at Sethi Partnership. Naveen and his team are a firm of solicitors that we do work quite closely with, and we do refer our clients where best possible. So yeah, please, hopefully that was of benefit to all of you viewers. Thank you, Naveen, for your time. I will leave Naveen's contact details and Naveen's contact details and the Sethi Partnerships contact details in the message below. Thank you, Naveen, and I look forward to working with you again soon.
Thanks a lot. Take care. Stay safe.
All the best.